Welcome, guys. I'm Ali here with Mike, Mossy. Thank you for tuning in. So today there's several topics we're going to talk about. First off, let's talk about that derby game that just ended between ManU and ManCity. So I was able to catch a little bit of the highlights, but I'm sure you watched most of the game.
Yeah.
So go ahead and break it down for us what you saw and
yeah, man. I mean, it was a great game to watch. 2-0 ended up being the scoreline, luckily for us. So Manchester is red for today. We've been having a hard time beating City. It's been a while since we've been able to actually take that team down. I mean, they played a good game. It wasn't like they played bad, but Harry Maguire played really well. We had a pretty good defense today.
Yeah.
Williams started on the left back and played really good, and Martial and Bruno Fernandes look like they've been playing with sorry to say that, but playing forever.
Right.
It was actually amazing, to be honest. Like, the chip ball that he played for the first goal was like, whoa,
dude,
wow,
that was dope. Like, just one shot, bang, in the back of the net. It was amazing. We were just watching that. I couldn't believe off that the free kick, the technique that he used to deliver that ball. Amazing, bro, amazing. And what was that? Martial's first goal
in a long time. Yeah,
in a long time, right?
Yeah, I mean, Fernandes has been scoring. He pretty much scored in back-to-back games. There are a couple balls that Martial and Daniel James could have played him, so he gets another goal for the EPL.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't score in last week's FA Cup against Derby County, but he's been scoring in every single game. We didn't get a penalty, so he didn't get to score this time, but that was an amazing free kick. And they were saying it. The broadcasters were saying he's a magician. Like, that's really what he was today.
Yeah.
And he played really well. And then the last goal, Scott McTominay from all the way outside, 35 yards, I think it was. Keeper just made a blatant error, and he finished and 2-0.
2-0.
Finally. And it started raining. It was like a monsoon. They were calling it the Manchester monsoon at the end of the game.
Right.
But we handled business, and let's go.
Yeah, it's funny. ManCity, I think they're not the same team as they once were.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it's affected by the recent ban, but I don't know. I think changes are going to be coming. But yeah, definitely big win for Man United. I low-key kind of like that team because they've always had amazing and great players, historic players. So that's definitely a good win for them.
Yeah, we're in 5th place now. 3 points off for Chelsea. So let's see what happens and plays the next couple of games and hope City loses a couple and Chelsea drops some points and we'll be back in the Champions League hopefully by the end of the season.
But like you said, Mike, you guys got lucky. 72%. They dominated positions, and even that first goal, the beautiful chip, that through ball was amazing, but I think the goalie should have stopped that. It went right under his hand, and then the second goal, again, like you said, big error by the goalie that he couldn't stop it. But yeah, I mean, you guys had more shots, 12 shots, 6 on target, but Man City dominated the possession. I mean, 72 to 27% is insane. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it was a good game. I didn't catch most of it either. I got some highlights with Cena. We were looking at the highlights and stuff, but that number just jumped at me. I was like, you guys definitely got lucky and just passed through there. But listen, at the end of the day, luck or not luck, it's all about goals. One goal, as long as you hit that shot.
Yeah,
and in soccer, sometimes you need luck. You know what I mean? It's all about that one pass going through, that one shot that slips under, and that's all you need.
Yeah. It was definitely that first goal was well played, man. From the free kick, and
we finally have a midfielder.
Finished. Yeah,
finally have a midfielder.
Oh, the beautiful chip! I mean, that was such a beautiful ball, just underneath the ball.
Good things coming for the ManU fans in the near future. All right, let's shift gears a little bit, and I think this was something I know is close home to me because I like this team, and it was a bit of a shocker when the news broke out. The Brooklyn Nets letting go of Kenny Atkinson. I don't know how much you guys follow Brooklyn, but I've always been kind of a fan from way back when they were in New Jersey. And Kenny Atkinson he brought this team to life after the trade with Paul Pierce and KG, the stupid trade back then, really set the franchise back. And this guy came in within 5 years, even less. I think it was 3 years. He was able to get them to the playoffs. So to fire Kenny Atkinson, I was like, whoa, something must be going on. Now, here's the thing. Is it KD and Kyrie that's behind this? If that's the case, I know some people, they're like, oh, you see, this is what these guys do. But they are superstars. I don't think much coaches have immunity in this, especially in this league. It's not like football where coaches are king. Outside of probably Greg Popovich, I don't think there's any coach that would keep their job if a superstar says, I want him out. I have more to say, but I want you guys to get in on it and share your opinions.
I mean, I was surprised to hear the news, to be honest. I didn't even get like an ESPN notification or anything. Like it didn't hit me with a breaking news. I kind of like went into the break room of my job and everyone's like, yo, Kenny Atkins got fired. I was like, whoa, like what? And the Nets were just in the playoffs. Like they were just in the playoffs last year. Like they're probably going to go to playoffs again with nobody. Like the coach has a lot to do with that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying the same thing, right? Like KD and Kyrie. I don't know how much they can have to do with it. Who knows if there's like, maybe there's a scandal that's going to come out in like 2 weeks that something happened. Like who knows? Because like Kyrie and KD both aren't playing, and I never really saw a problem with, because Kyrie's always had like some type of physical thing with a coach, whether he's arguing with them or something's happening like on the court, and then it makes a big breaking news on SportsCenter, and we see about it. And I mean, unless you guys have, I haven't heard anything before, so it was a shock to me too, like to see that happen. And he's definitely gonna have a head coaching job somewhere else. Like,
oh yeah,
like he's a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was surprising. I mean, just seeing Ali touched upon it about how he turned that franchise around after that huge mistake of just basically selling off their whole past and like all the draft picks and everything. He had the team playing well without no superstars. Right. I was really excited to kind of see with Kyrie and Durant coming back next year, how he's gonna put all of them pieces together. I mean, it's an interesting point Mike made as well. There might be a scandal because this is out of nowhere. Yeah. I mean, unless they started getting on the phone with the Knicks and said, hey, how do we mess up our franchise? You know what I mean? And kind of made the decision, or maybe he told Dolan to sell the team, you know what I mean? And Dolan had him fired. But other than that, I don't see why now? Yeah. Why where you're like right in the cusp of really building something great in the city and really showing some stability and kind of building around that. It was definitely a shock overall. Yeah,
apparently Sean Marks said they need a new voice. I don't know who this voice is going to be. It better be someone good. Apparently sources are saying Kyrie wants Ty Lue, but I don't know. Like Ty Lue, was it because of a product of LeBron and Kyrie, or was it Ty Lue? Because once LeBron left, the Cleveland Cavaliers was the Cleveland Cavaliers again. So I don't know how much difference does Ty Lue make. But now the pressure is on the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to have to bring in that coach, I guess, to please Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. We'll see what happens. But definitely there's huge pressure on them to get it right now.
But honestly, the coaches, it's all about the coach getting the other players to play better, because the superstar are gonna get theirs, right? They're gonna play their game. They got the skills. They're gonna make it work. And I thought firing him, now you're taking all these young stars that are really built around him and they played well for him. Right. You're taking that support out of their hand, and it doesn't matter. Kyrie and Durant are going to put up the numbers they're going to put up regardless of who the coach is, right? I mean, Phil Jackson wasn't going to win all those championships without having Michael Jordan or having Kobe or Shaq. You know, they're going to do their thing. It's about how they get the other troops around them kind of riled up. So it was definitely, like, we'll see. I mean, they have to definitely do something now, or else.
And that came on the back. They beat the Spurs by like 30 the night before, some crazy number. Like they smacked the Spurs the night before. Like
that's why it was like, what the heck? How did they just let him go? I don't know, bro. I mean, I was just shocked. But let's see what happens. Yeah, bro. I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird.
I'm telling you, there's something going on with
I
the
think-
Knicks. There's, you know what I mean? Dolan definitely has something to do with this. I'm telling you.
What do you
Somehow,
mean
somewhere.
Dolan?
I'm
But
just saying it's something.
Joseph Tsai owns the Nets. What does
I
Dolan
know.
have to do
I'm
with it?
saying Dolan probably called him and said, "Yo, he told me to sell the team, and he got me pissed. So he couldn't throw him out of the guard." I'm just saying, like, this is something the Knicks would do. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to get at.
All right, yeah.
Like, finally, we're seeing the Brooklyn, how as executive, as from the top, they fix things and they're running the franchise the right way. They got their superstars, and you go on and fire the coach for no reason. A coach that took you to the playoffs last year with nobody. Now you finally get him pieces. What he built, now you're kicking him out of his house to bring in somebody else to take the credit.
Well,
that's sad.
What if they want to? Maybe it's emulating what Golden State did with Mark Jackson, and recently it's on the top of my tongue. There's another team that did something similar in this situation. They brought in, I guess, a developmental coach. And then I guess what other people are saying too is towards the end of the game, he didn't really have any offensive schemes as far as X's and O's go. So maybe that why too is it was mostly iso ball with like either Spencer Dinwiddie or Karis LeVert, whatever. So maybe they're looking at it that way. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Then you should wait for the offseason. Wait till the offseason, get them out, let Kyrie and Durant get healthier a little bit, and in offseason you sit down, you break it down, and you kind of, I think just throwing this on the team when they're already missing two superstars, and now you find a coach that you kind of develop with, I think it was out of the blue. I think it was a little disrespectful. Nothing came out. Like, usually you hear this coach is in the hot seat, he's about to go. We all wake up one day and boom. I guess that's New York sports these days, you know what I mean?
No, but also I think they want to get ahead of this thing. You know, if they were already in their mind like, okay, Kenny's going to be out, let's get ahead of it and start on who we want for our next coach. Or maybe they want to see, what's his name? The next head coach to see if what he has. The other team was the Raptors. Dwayne Casey came off winning Coach of the Year. And he was out.
So. Oh, yeah, gone. Him and DeMar DeRozan gone, right? Yeah, like both of them?
Yeah, both of them out.
And that was it.
So,
and where is that team right now?
Toronto? Well, they're doing good under Nick Nurse. So maybe Brooklyn's looking at it like that.
I don't know, man. I see.
Hope so.
We'll see. Again, it's always...
That'd be nice. That'd be nice, though, right? Like,
yeah, bro.
If it's like the same blueprint as like what the Warriors did, fire Mark Jackson, go ahead and get Steve Kerr, Curry and Klay Thompson all of a sudden like take off and you win a couple chips, right? Like what you're saying about Toronto, they win a chip with Kawhi. So I guess maybe they're saying like KD's kind of going to come back. KD can't really play with this coach. We have this coach that KD can play with. Let's bring him in. And then if it's neither of those, I'm still convinced I'm going to stay on my seat of it's a scandal somewhere. And in 2 weeks, the New York media is going to uncover it. Then we're going to see it. Breaking news, that notification I'll probably get. And we'll see what happens.
But it's
conspiracy behind
it's the Brooklyn Nets, right? Imagine if this was the Knicks. We don't hear that much about it, right?
Though.
Dude,
you know what I mean? We didn't hear much about it.
Bro.
Imagine if this was the Knicks. If they made the playoff, they're just like, I don't know. Is Phil Jackson coming back? Do you have any insights? Are they trying to get the Zen Master to come or something? We'll see.
We'll see.
But who would be a good candidate? That's the question, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is the question. Who is?
Gonna bring
Who's
in?
left?
Are you bringing the Mark Jackson?
I like Mark Jackson.
I would like to see him back, right? Young team. You have two superstars. I don't know.
Get a chance of redemption in Brooklyn.
I mean,
if media.
If I'm the Nets, if I'm the Knicks, I would go for Mark Jackson or I don't know. I would go for Mark Jackson. If I'm any team right now, if I have young players and I have a team that can, but the Knicks are nowhere close, so I don't know. Mark Jackson wouldn't go there anymore.
Mark Jackson, the Garden State rookie, support you.
Yeah,
we got you. Yes,
got
please.
But I think maybe that's where Kenny is gonna land. The Knicks, that's a possibility because that team needs developing, and I think that's what's gonna happen.
They need a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
But sticking to the NBA, so we're basically a few months away from the playoffs starting, and we saw the Bucks Lakers the other night. Two potential MVP caliber players. My question is, who do you guys think it's leading the NBA MVP race?
All right. So I was thinking about this before I got here.
Right.
And we all know Kawhi Leonard. I know those two. Like, I know he's like a total dark horse I'm bringing in here right now, but somehow Kawhi Leonard managed to win the All-Star MVP.
Right.
He hit a bunch of threes. That was cool. Like, AD had the game-winning shot. They all had like over 20 points, but he somehow won.
Okay.
Giannis was touted to win, as well as AD, but Kawhi came out of nowhere. Giannis and LeBron are both touted to win, but the Clippers are putting the clamps and the mittens on everybody every game. And he's putting up secretly like 27 a night.
Oh, that's something to consider. Yeah, that's something to consider. Kawhi coming out the left field. That
it could happen. Now, don't get me wrong. My pick, if I'm doing a pick and I have to put whatever on it, I'm gonna say Bron because I'm a Lakers fan.
Right.
But Kawhi can come out of nowhere and surprise all of us, and no one will see it out of nowhere. You're like, oh snap, Kawhi won MVP.
That's a true possibility.
That's a joke. I'm sorry. I'm gonna disagree with you straight up. I get it, the dark horse and all that. Kawhi is not playing all his games. I mean, he's taking his rest. That team is up and down. 1 week they're losing games to teams that you can't even name or don't even care about. And everybody's like, what's wrong with the Clippers? And all of a sudden they have 2-3 games, they're playing good. And it's like, oh my God, the Clippers are back and they're going to dominate.
Right.
I think we're still a little bit dazed about what he did last year. And come on, you beat a Golden State team that had Clay down, Durant down. Come on. Like, I get you had nobody on your team either, and you went through the East. It's LeBron, guys. 17th year, leading the league in assists, dominating in the Lakers. Goes from not making the playoffs, you just give him AD, and now he's playing every game. He's putting in 34 minutes a night. He doesn't take his rest. I mean, to me, he's the MVP every year, but I get it. That gets boring, right? Nobody's going to do that. But he's the best player in the world, and I still say that. I'm sorry. Kawhi had that moment with the Spurs where he beat them, where it wasn't really his championship, even though he won the MVP. It was more Duncan, and the Heat's just not stepping up to the plate. I mean, I don't see what the special thing is about Kawhi. I don't, because it's gonna be LeBron. It's definitely LeBron. I'm sorry. To me, it's LeBron.
To be honest, you got me thinking. Can Kawhi potentially win it? Yes. And I'll tell you how. If he doesn't do load management for the rest of the season and he just goes off, averaging like 30 or I would say 27 to 30 points, and the way he plays defense, gets a couple of assists, I think that Kawhi might be that dark horse to win it. I think Russell Westbrook is also there, but I don't think he's going to really get it. So the top two is obviously Giannis and LeBron. Kawhi is definitely a dark horse, but if I would have to make a pick, I think it might have to be LeBron. I know a lot of people have Giannis because his team is playing tremendous. Like they are playing good, really good basketball. But I think LeBron might win it just because the fact Lakers didn't make it to the playoffs since like 2013 or something like that. So they probably can give it to LeBron, but. Let's see. I would love to see how Kawhi finishes the season because it's all about that moment. I feel like it is. If people say, "Oh, let's look throughout the year," no, bro. If you go hot for like a month or two, that's it. They're gonna give it to you. It doesn't matter what you did like the other months since October, but we'll see.
The biggest thing is tonight. They play tonight.
Yeah, they're gonna start soon.
Yeah,
the game soon.
Yeah. Clippers Lakers. That's tonight. Now if LeBron goes off and he scores like 35, even if they lose, or he scores 35 and they win, like Kawhi's out. Like I'm not gonna say Kawhi's in, because at that point LeBron would have showed that dominance against a team that he hasn't been able to beat yet. He hasn't been able to beat the Clippers yet.
Again, I'm gonna go back to, you guys are talking about a 17-year-old vet that's leading the NBA in assists as a small forward. He's averaging 26 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 10.7 assists a game. You're talking about 5 assists difference between Kawhi and LeBron. 5 assists. That's 10 points a game difference each game. And he's in his 17th season, 35, and you guys are comparing him to Giannis, who's 25, Kawhi, who's 29 in his prime. He's doing this at 35, guys. You have to look at that equation in this. If this was prime, if they were all the same age, it wouldn't even be a debate, right? I mean, can you guys debate any of these players were as good as LeBron was in his prime?
Well, the thing is, it's not us, is what the perception is, right?
But people don't look at that.
But that's what it is. That's how everything is. In today's society, that's what we live in. It's all about perception. And if Kawhi goes extremely hot and like he just goes out of his mind, he has numbers to back it up. I think still LeBron is the favorite, but it could change in a month depending on who does what.
But that's hatred, right, guys? I mean, in the same time, you're 1 point away from how much you score a game, all right? I get it if Kawhi was averaging like 30 points and he was 5 assists lower than LeBron and his team was... You're talking about the team that's first in their division, right? Yeah. Above the Clippers. Clippers are what, 4th, 5th seed right now?
Third or fourth.
Third or fourth. You're talking about the person that's first in his division, has the better stats, plays every game. Where is your argument that Kawhi, like, I don't get it. If you give it to him, I'm not saying you guys, I'm just saying the perception, right?
Yeah.
It's more hatred. It's more you don't want to give LeBron because he could get it every year. Because if you look at straight numbers, how do you make the argument that he shouldn't get it?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with LeBron, right? Like I said, I'm a Lakers fan. I would love for LeBron to get MVP. Like, I want to beat the Clippers today, like no doubt about it, right? Yeah. But LeBron put himself over Giannis when they played the Bucks because he beat them. He dominated the game. Mm-hmm. He put AD in position to score mad points that game and did his thing. He had his assist.
Dropped 37.
Yeah, no doubt.
Giannis.
I would love for LeBron to win it. The only thing is because I watched Kawhi win an All-Star MVP. And Anthony Davis, who's from Chicago, hits the game-winning free throw in a Kobe game. In a clutch moment.
He dropped like 30-something. So I see the MVP for the All-Star. I get your point 100%. But I think this is a little more serious than like a All-Star MVP. Like I'm saying, like I get the last month you have to see. They're not catching the first seed. Right? In the last month, are you really gonna... If the voters change their mind over one period of month, except seeing the whole season, MVP is a whole season what you do for your team, right? It's not about 1 month. It's not about a couple of games. It's about what you did the whole season, what you did for that team. Yeah. Taking a team that was not in the playoffs, now you're the number 1 seed. Clippers were already dominant, guys. We were talking about how they might be able to win last year, right? They were a shot away. You added Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. You didn't go and do something crazy, you know? Kawhi added to a strong base team. All we added was what, AD? We still don't have that third person. You have a team that's loaded with bench, right? You got Jamal, you got all these players, Lou Williams, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard. Like, you have so many pieces around you.
Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench, bugging out 17. Morris,
they just got from Knicks. Come on,
Reggie Jackson.
All and you're still not the first seed?
Yeah, so we're in agreement. LeBron's the favorite, but there's a chance for potentially someone else.
If Kawhi wins, there's going to be a freaking riot.
Or Giannis. So we're going to get to our final point, but before we get there, last week we did a segment for the Patriots. I know you're a huge Patriot fan. So real quick and not taking too much time, what do you think is going to happen with Brady? Will he stay? Will he go? If he decides to go, what will the Patriots do? If you could just quickly. What do you think?
All right. So think about this a couple of days too, because I hear a lot of questions about this like every single day. What do you think is going to happen to Brady? I think Tom Brady stays with the New England Patriots. I think it's going to be tough for other teams to persuade him to come off of it. There is a but though. The but is, I feel like his conditions to the team to stay are not going to be about money.
Okay.
I think they're going to be about acquisitions of players that he wants.
Right.
That can see Antonio Brown come back into the fold. Don't be surprised. There's been numerous reports that say Tom Brady still speaks to Antonio Brown every day. You still see them chat and like respond to each other on Instagram or any other type of social media. So don't be surprised if there's something about that. Don't be surprised if he has something to do with the draft. Like that first draft pick.
Yeah.
Who's left on the board. Like there's some quarterbacks that'll be left there. If we draft a quarterback, maybe Tom Brady leaves. Or maybe he says, I'll coach that guy. You better pick up a wide receiver in that second round. Like I don't want to hear anything else.
Hunter Henry.
Right.
They need a tight end.
Yeah.
So it's all those. Then there's a lot of acquisitions to make. Think about it. Chris Harris is out there right now from the Denver Broncos as a quarterback. As a cornerback, you don't need to draft a corner. Go sign me a corner and go draft me some young wide receivers that are going to get out there and go catch the ball. Mm-hmm. So I think that those would be the stipulations more than the money. Because I feel like the money could have been done already. Like Robert Kraft isn't that. Yeah. Think about it. They got rid of Jimmy G. That's Robert Kraft going to Bill like, hey man, I get it. You don't want to pay him right now. I'm going to pay him anyway. It's my money. Like, of course. I'm going to pay my guy, and he's going to stay. I feel like that would have been done already. CBA would have been signed. We're finished.
Yeah. We'll see. We already talked about it. Regarding the AB situation, that's tough, bro, because of what happened with Robert Kraft and stuff. That means, like, Robert Kraft has to, like, swallow a big ego pill and just... That's hard, bro, because AB went after him. But we'll see.
But if I give you that hometown discount, and all you do is go get my boy.
Show, else we'll talk about what Robert Kraft's been doing. So, yeah, Hunter Henry, though, just where you're talking about it, I heard it in the news. I just want to touch because it wasn't out last week. We talked about it. We need to get Hunter Henry. I think if they get Hunter Henry with that tight end, that system needs a tight end. And I think that's what Tom Brady's looking for the most, more than the wide receivers.
So we'll definitely talk more about this as free agency comes along next week. Our final point, dude, I really didn't want to talk about this subject much. We got like a minute. We'll touch 30 seconds if we could take each. The coronavirus, man. I didn't know it was impacting lives until these stadiums start shutting down in Italy. Potentially, there's going to be NBA games played with nobody in the stands. Let's see how long this virus goes. Will it trickle down all the way September to NFL season? Who knows? But I think a message for me is everybody, please have good hygiene, wash some hands, stay clean, and hopefully it doesn't affect the sports, because that's our go-to. It'll stink to watch sports games without fans. That's what really gets it going.
Yeah, a lot of players are even saying like we won't play if there's no one in the stands. Like the situation in Italy, that's like a true outbreak. Like that's crazy what's going on over in Italy. Even traveling there is like you're putting yourself at risk and at danger at that point. But I mean, hey, let's see what happens.
I mean, yeah, it's a very serious matter as far as that goes. But in the same time, I think we need to take kind of accountability, each one of us, as this goes along, and just make sure you wash your hands, don't touch your face. And then, guys, be careful. I mean, most of the stuff they're saying about 85% of the cases is not that serious, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be cautious and not panic. I think the worst thing we can do as a community is panic, and I think we shouldn't panic and just get educated as much as we can on the subject.
All right, guys, that's the end of it here for this week's segment. Mike, thank you for coming, bro. Yeah, Mike's always started with us in the beginning. It's just a couple of weeks. We weren't able to get him on, but now he's here. I hope you guys loved it. Love this episode. Stay tuned. Please follow us on Instagram, Garden State Rookies. Subscribe, like, and share. Until next time.
Signing out.
Peace.